What is known as Iran today was inhabited by various peoples long before the Persians migrated from Central Asia and settled there around 2000 BC. The Elamites, a Semitic people, established a kingdom known as Elam in Ahwaz region, southwest of present-day Iran, around 4000 to 5000 BC. Some even date it back to 7000 BC, with Susa, present-day Shush, as its capital. The Medes, a non-Persian people, entered northwestern parts of present-day Iran from the north with the first wave of Aryan tribes in the late 2nd millennium BC. Later they established their own empire until they were defeated in 549 BC by Cyrus the Great, the founder of the Achaemenid Empire. Evidence supports the claims that the Medes are in fact the ancestors of the Kurds. Three other Persian empires, the Achaemenids, Parthians and Sassanids, controlled large swathes of territories and regions stretching from the Indian subcontinent in the east to Central Asia and North Africa, including Egypt, to the west, for more than 1000 years, until the emergence of Islam in the 7th century. Alexander the Great invaded Persia in 334 BC and overthrew Darius, king of the Achaemenids. Around 140 BC, the Parthians in northeastern Iran defeated the Seleucid dynasty and asserted their control over all of Persia, before themselves being vanquished by the Persian Sassanids from southern Iran around 220 AD. In 642 AD, the Persians were swiftly defeated by the newly emerging power of Islam, with its new ideals and values, which appealed to many Persians and other subjects under the rule of the Sassanid Empire. For much of its history, Persia was a multinational empire based on the devolution of power and with governors required only to pay tribute to the emperor. Following the Islamic conquest, all of Persia's territories, which were under the control of the Sassanid Empire, including Elam, known as Ahwaz region, were placed under the Islamic Caliphate rule until the fall and sacking of Baghdad in 1258 at the hands of the Mongols led by the grandson of Chinggis Khan, who put an end to the Persian influence Abbasid's Caliphate. The Safavids rose to power in Persia in the beginning of the 16th century. Shia Islam was declared the state religion under Shah Ismail to rival the Sunni Ottomans, with whom he was at war. The Safavid dynasty was ended in 1722 after the capture of its capital, Isfahan, by the Afghans, led by Mahmud Khan, who were later expelled by Nader Shah, a Safavid officer. The Qajars ruled Persia from about 1795 until 1921, when Reza Khan, an army officer, seized power through a coup, ending the Qajar dynasty and later declaring himself Shah. Qajar rule was marked by corruption, incompetence and discontent, all of which led to the constitutional revolution of 1906 and ultimately the establishment of Iran's first Majlis, or parliament. The constitution, however, was never fully implemented, especially under Reza Shah and his son, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, both of whom established an absolute monarchy and ruled with an iron fist until the revolution of 1979, which ended the Pahlavi dynasty. In the late 1940s, Iran went through political, social and economic turmoil. In 1951, the Iranian Majlis passed a law sponsored by the nationalist leader, Dr. Mossadegh, who later became Prime Minister, to nationalize the oil industry. In 1953, the British intelligence and the CIA drew up a plan for a coup to topple the democratically elected Mossadegh government. In the midst of confusion and unrest, the Shah fled the country, but only to be put back in power after the overthrow of Mossadegh, who was arrested and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. He actually remained under house arrest until his death in 1967, and his Minister of Foreign Affairs, Hussein Fatemi, was executed. Also, hundreds of National Front leaders, Tudeh party officers, and political activists were arrested, tortured, and sentenced to death. In the 1960s and 1970s, the Shah embarked on a series of social and economic programs. His major land reforms in 1962 to 1963 didn't achieve their goals as planned due to poor planning and execution. The reforms were also opposed by the clergy, like Ayatollah Khomeini, who was later arrested and sent into exile. The Shah's determination to modernize the country fast and at any cost, using the petrodollars which poured into the economy after the Arab-Israeli War of